Hi, and welcome back to terryscookbook.com. We're doing actually a double posting this time. As you know, a lot of you are probably sitting on the couch watching movies, and you can have a terrible experience. You have the popcorn, you have the movie, you go to get the butter, and then what happens? No butter! Yes, there's no butter. My friend called me yesterday from Hollywood, Jason, and he went to go get some butter because he was going to do just that. And apparently about a year ago, I taught him how to make butter. I didn't remember that. And so anyways, I asked my husband to go to the grocery store to go pick up some butter because he also had some medication to pick up. So he was doing all of that at once. I wasn't just sending him out. And my husband calls me and says, I need to send you a text. And so he went to the dairy section, and this is what he showed me. There is no butter. There is no milk. There is nothing. But if I can expand this picture here, let me see. There is heavy whipping cream. So I told him to buy heavy whipping cream. So with that, this is why I have the whole little I Love Lucy apron. This is going to be like the episode of the Pioneering Women. We are going to make butter, but not only are we going to make butter, I did post about nut milks, and I do realize that there are people who are allergic to nuts, and I do realize that some of your children don't like nuts, but as you saw in the picture, there is heavy whipping cream. If you're not aware of it, you can make milk out of heavy whipping cream. It's pretty easy. So let me grab my cold water. I do repurpose everything. I think I've mentioned that before, so it just so happens that I have a milk container. All you really have to do is, it's 9-to-1 is the ratio. So we don't drink a lot of milk, so I'm not going to make that much. So what I did is I have a 1/4 cup of that I'm going to use here. I'm going to pour a 1/4 cup of heavy cream into 9 1/4 cups of water. That's pretty much it. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar to it. You can add stevia drops, you can add regular granulated sugar. I'm going to be using our monk fruit sugar. Start with a teaspoon at a time. Don't do too much more before that. Taste it. If you want to make chocolate milk out of it, great. Just shake it up a bit. And now you have milk. So your kids don't have to go ew or yuck, or if you're allergic to nut milks, you don't have to worry about that. So easy squeezy, you don't have to worry about it. You got milk. So I'm gonna go put that in the refrigerator real quick. Okay, so now we're going to move on to making butter. Butter is basically really easy, and before you go, I don't own a KitchenAid mixer or a large upright mixer, never fear. You can use a regular hand mixer. The only thing that you have to watch out for is that the motor can burn out. All right, so now we're ready to make the butter. So this is what you're going to need. If you do not have a KitchenAid or a large Sunbeam or whatever Oster mixer, that's okay. You're going to be able to use your regular hand mixer. If you do have a large machine, you're going to want to put the whisk on. You know, have one. That's the whisk. You're going to use your blades if you're going to use your hand mixer. I have a large towel here because I don't have the shield. My model's an older model. A lot of you have the older models, and it can splatter. You're going to need at least 2 damp hand towels or kitchen cloths. You're going to need your heavy cream. The heavy cream has to set out for at least half an hour so it's not so cold. So when we're mixing it, it'll actually come together better. You're gonna need a bowl of ice water. And if you have a strainer, it's better if you can, even if it's a plastic strainer, have something like this so when we pour the water, when we do the rinsing, I'll explain that in a little bit. If you want to add salt, you can add salt. If you want to add different flavorings to the butter afterwards, that's fine. But right now, we just need some butter so we can put on our breads, do what we need. Okay, so my cream has been out for at least half an hour. I'm gonna pour 2 cups of cream in. This is gonna make about a stick of butter, but it's also gonna make buttermilk. And I know that buttermilk isn't necessarily something a lot of people drink nowadays. It's something like my dad used to drink. But if you have the ranch mix, the Hidden Valley ranch dressing mix, it needs buttermilk, so you can add buttermilk to it. If you do not know how to make buttermilk, I just showed you how to make regular milk using the heavy cream. If you already have milk at home, there's no problem. You can't do it with the almond type milk. You're gonna add at least a teaspoon to a cup of regular milk, of either vinegar or lemon juice to it. And you're gonna let it set for about 15 minutes, and that'll cause the milk to sour, and then you have buttermilk. So once again, if you need to make buttermilk for some reason, you're gonna make the buttermilk ranch, you don't wanna make the butter and get the buttermilk from that, go ahead and about 1 cup of milk to about a teaspoon of lemon juice or vinegar, add that to it, wait about 15 minutes, and you will now have buttermilk. All right, so with that, we are going to do this in segments because it does take time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to cover this. It is going to splatter. So my suggestion is, if you're going to use a hand mixer, that if you can like set it up in a corner and then maybe put some towels up in the corner, that way that will act as your shield, because you can't really hold this and have it shield. If you're going to have your kids hold the towels, they're going to get tired of holding the towels. When you're using a hand mixer, you have to stop about every 5 minutes and let the motor rest, because you'll burn out your motor on your hand mixer. So I'm going to cover this up, and I think I'm pretty well covered up. I'm going to start it on about number 2. My mixer is not as fast. It's gotten a lot of use out of the years, so I have to go get it calibrated. So I'm gonna start it on number 2, see how it's doing. And it's doing okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kick it up. What we're gonna be doing first is, it's gonna make itself into cream. So just like the regular whipping cream, where you normally add sugar and have it on waffles. Then we're going to take it past that point. And to go past that point, that's when it's going to start separating and breaking itself down, separating and getting the buttermilk from the actual part that we're going to use as butter. So I'm going to start to have it go a little faster. Right now it's at the point of making cream. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this run. I'm going to stop the camera. Then I'm going to have my husband come back. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then we'll continue on with the next step. All right, so now I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like as cream. We're going to now take it to the next step. We're going to have it go beyond cream, okay? So again, I'm going to run my mixer. I'm going to now kick it up because it's a lot less splattering right now. I'm still going to keep everything covered. Don't not uncover things, because if you wear glasses, it's going to look like a snowy a snowstorm coming through. So I can go ahead and put it underneath again. I'm going to cover it up. Again, if you're doing this with a hand mixer, you might have already have had to have stopped maybe once or twice. Just depends on your hand mixer, how old it is. Here it goes. Okay, so the mixer has been running for at least about 2 minutes on a high. need to go ahead and shut that off. The reason why, for those of you who have made butter, I'm showing you this right now is because I don't want the people, the novice who's never made butter, thinking that this is butter, because this is not butter yet. It looks like it. It's starting to look like the stuff you get like at the pancake houses where it's nice and whipped. But this is not butter yet. All right, so I wanted to show you that this is not yet quite butter. It's getting there though, it's getting there, all right? I'm gonna put this back in, cover it up. And actually, since I have it down already, I'm gonna just, with my spatula, push it down a little bit. Okay, and on we go. Okay, so now my mixer has been running for about another 2 minutes, so we're about 4 minutes into the process. I'm going to take this off, and I want to just show you, let me take some of this off the whisk. It is now starting to form like butter, and you can see that I'm getting some liquid in there. I don't know if my husband can get that. That's going to be the buttermilk that we can use at a later time. I'm just going to go ahead and, since I stopped it, I'm going to go ahead and scrape the bowl down. If you're using a hand mixer, just because you stop, do not, I repeat, do not put it in the refrigerator. It needs to stay at a room temperature. The cream does. I'm going to go ahead and cover it up and let it go again. Okay, so right now we're at the point that I can hear liquid. This is where all the splattering comes into play. It is now starting to form into butter. I'm going to lower this just a little bit. Well, actually what I'll do is I'll turn it off so you can see where I'm at. This time I can't really tilt it. I'm going to have to, I don't know if my husband can get that. Can you get that, Wes? Okay, so this is where I'm at. It's about butter. I'm going to go ahead and just let it go just a couple more seconds. You can see splattering starting to happen. It just happened. And I'm actually going to pour out some of this buttermilk. I'll let this go. Especially if you're doing this with a hand mixer, you're definitely going to want to pour some of this out as you're going. Okay, this is what I poured off the butter so far. I just changed the container because my husband said that way you could see it better. And now, this is kind of the most crucial part of the process. I'm going to wear a glove because I like to scrape everything off. It's watering the butter and rinsing it. If you don't rinse the butter, it's going to go rancid. This butter should be able to last you 2 to 3 weeks in the refrigerator. You can also freeze it. So I'm going to just push this down. Actually, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to go ahead and scrape it down one more time and let it go. Alrighty, I'm going to put this back just one more time. I feel that I can let it go just a little longer. Pull this up. Turn it off. My butter is now made. Again, with the glove on, I'm going to kind of hit this down. This is where I need the glove because everything counts right now. You know, you can use a spatula, but sometimes you end up with more left on there. go. Put that there for right now. This is the important part. So here is your buttermilk. You can go ahead and save that. You can drink that. We're on a ranch. We have some pigs. If my husband or somebody else in the house doesn't feel like having that, I know a lot of you people that are not there, but you can give that to the pigs too. I have some ice water. I'm going to throw some water in there, no ice. The idea is to rinse this butter out. And I'm going to use my spatula. You want ice water because you also want it to begin to form. And this is where your sieve or your perforated bowl is. You need to rinse it out about 4 to 5 times till it's not cloudy, till you can see that it's kind of clear coming out of there. If you do not do this, you will end up with rancid butter. And you don't want to do that, especially right now. And this time in our life, you don't want rancid butter. And now it's also going to make it easier to handle. As you can see, it's now starting to kind of ball up, form up. I don't know if my husband could get that. Did you get that, hun? Yeah, okay. Let me dump this out. And so I am right now at my second rinsing. And go ahead and rinse again. From here, you can make a lot of different things, obviously. But as far as maitre d' butters, those are butters that are seasoned. And what we used to do is we would get the butters and then we'd add different spices to them for steaks, and we would take out pieces of wax paper. We would season the butter and then roll it up like a log. That way, if we were doing steaks near the barbecuer and we were going to be sending them out, we'd slice a piece of butter, put it on top, makes it really nice. You could also use it for scampi or anything else. So you can make these butters flavored. They actually make kind of fun gifts. I believe I'm at 3 rinses. It's about 6 cups of water, I think, that I had here. If it takes a little more, it takes a little bit more. But, okay, so this is what my water looks like now, which is, oops, now spilling on my counter. Okay. It's almost clear. It's just a little bit cloudy. I just want to make sure. I'm going to run a little bit more cold water. It's not going to kill it. It's not going to harm it in any way. Like I said, better right now that we really make sure so that we're not wasting anything. Make sure it's really clear. And then you're going to need to squeeze the butter out, or squeeze the water out of the butter. Sorry, that didn't come out right. All right, I am pretty content with this. It's pretty clear. I'm going to let that go. Now I'm going to put, this is what I do. You don't have to do this. If you have a cheesecloth, that's great. If you have, this is one of my towels, my kitchen towels. I want to, again, I want to make sure that I do not waste it, so I need to make sure I squeeze the water out. Some people want to know, hey, she didn't add salt. No, I didn't. This is a point where you go ahead and mix in the parsley or the salt or whatever you want, garlic salt. At this point, that's when you're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this. I like to wear a plastic glove regardless. See all the water coming out? Because, yes, my hands need to be softened by butter, but not that softened. So I need to squeeze out any excess water. You can freeze butter, this butter. for a few weeks. So you can make the maitre d' butters, especially during barbecue season. Have them in there for, oh, you can even leave it for a couple months. Most people don't have that kind of room in their freezers because they got ice cream, they have all these other frozen dinners, so butter isn't something most people want to take their freezer space up with. So as you see, squeezing it, my hand's feeling a little warm. I just want to make sure my hand. Okay. So it looks like I have all the water out of it. And this is my butter. It's really yummy. It's really nice. I have taught this to a couple of my other friends, and everybody seems to really enjoy it. You're going to notice I did have somebody comment to me they did make the almond milk already, and their kid said that it was actually better than what they had tasted at the store, that they could really taste the almonds. Unfortunately, we're in this time of crisis. We're stuck in our homes. As you saw the picture, there is no butter, there is no milk. We have to make do with what we have. But as a culinary professional, it is nice to know that we can teach you guys how to do these things, so there is not that panic, and you're not panicking so much. Use what you have at home, and you're going to kind of remember those things from when we were younger, when things really tasted the way they did right now. I want to hear from you. Please let me know. I did have somebody on Facebook me about the cactus, because she had gone on a hike. This is before there was a lockdown in California, just so you know. She had gone on a hike, and she had picked some cactus. There was some wild cactus. She did pick it, and then funny enough, her mom was telling her about nopales, which is the cactus salad that I talked to you about. It is really good, and some people didn't like it, some people liked it. It is a specific taste maybe that you think your kids might not like, but you might find out that some of them do like it. And I wanted to make sure that I have something for everybody, for those who are vegetarian, those who have allergies to different things. So if you want to know how to make something, please let me know. I want to let you know that I am going to be making some raw cookie dough with the almond flour, the fried zucchinis with the almond flour, and onion rings. Well, they're not going to be fried, they're going to be baked. Those are some of the things. Pizza dough as well, without any yeast. There are some more recipes coming that can kind of help you out. And oh, also I want to let you know, at the store again today, my husband noticed there was no meat, but there were a lot of hams. If someone hasn't seen that blog, buy yourself the ham. If you were to buy a package of deli meat and a thing of bacon, you're already at almost $20 right there for like a 3-pound pack of bacon and a container of deli meat. The hams are about $25. Cut them up, quarter them up, use them for breakfast, use them, mix them in Brussels sprouts, little small cubes of it. You don't have to fill your family up on all this protein, you know, like big slabs of it. Dice it up. Throw it in some Brussels sprouts. I'll give you some recipes on that. You have the bone. You can save the bone for soup. That $25 ham is going to go a lot longer than some deli meats and some bacon. We got to think a little smarter. And if you're going to go to the grocery store, you find something, you're not sure what it is, you can always shoot me an email. I can answer that for you, hopefully. I did have a senior citizen who was given a box of food today. She sent me a picture and says, "What is this?" It's actually dragon fruit, which is from a cactus. I'll put that picture up. It is very bright pink. You usually find it in the Asian stores. You'll find it in a couple of little baskets, and it's a little, not so prickly, but it's bright pink with a little bit of green on it. It's a beautiful fruit. If you have questions, please send them to me and I can help you out. So thank you very much for coming to terryscookbook.com.